Hi, welcome back to my channel. Happy Halloween, everybody. I think the last 2 years I've shown off my Halloween costume in a YouTube video. And if I haven't, I'm doing it now and I'll continue to do it from here on out. The best part about this costume is that it's got a second look. I will be wearing my glasses because I do like being able to see. And we're going to see if the mustache makes it through the video. Also continuing with what I've been doing the last two Halloweens, and this I know I've been doing, we will be continuing with the next movie in the Twitches series, Twitches 3. I think it's easily the most forgotten DCOM of this era. Of course, Elena and Karsh are back, Alex and Cameron are up to their usual hijinks, and in a very small role, we see a young Timothy Chalamet. Look at him. He doesn't even know what he's going to do to NYU yet. Like any good Halloween movie, there are both tricks and treats in it. The trick being that it doesn't exist. I made that all up. That was all a trick. You fool. You rube. Look who looks dumb now. I wish there was a third Twitches movie. But, I mean, Hocus Pocus 2 just came out this year. So, I see no reason to give up hope on that yet. Until, I don't know, 2049 rolls around. There's no more twitching to do. Since I could not watch a movie that doesn't exist, today we're going to watch The Dog Who Saved Halloween, a movie with a surprisingly star-studded cast, including notable John Mulaney reference Dean Cain, the principal from New Girl, the principal from Ant Farm, the new host of Jeopardy, and a bunch of other people who will make you go, hey, I've seen them in something else before. We open on George and Zeus, and I bet you can guess which one of those is the dog. They've just moved into a new house, and their neighbor is a professor and a notably spooky guy.
All right, back me up, buddy. Back me up.
Back you up? Who's gonna back me up?
Seems like there's someone in there, buddy.
In that house? The one with all the lights on? No way. It's a stormy night. There's some lightning, and Zeus, despite his name, is afraid of the sound of thunder. I know this because he told me. This is one of those talking animal movies. The dogs talk, some other animals later talk. I won't say who, but it's a cat. And that's how you know it's going to be good, because I've never seen anybody make fun of a movie where there's animals that talk. While George and Zeus are investigating the spooky neighbor's spooky house, Zeus's fear of the thunder causes him to run off the leash, creating chaos that ultimately ends with George suffering a leg injury and getting literally everyone in the neighborhood to come outside and look at him disdainfully. This is clearly not the first time that everyone has come outside to stick their nose in somebody else's business, and it certainly will not be the last time. If this movie nails anything, it's that this is exactly what it feels like to live in a suburb. Then the opening credits play, and the music that goes with them is truly the scariest part of this movie.
I was having a party on Halloween when some ghostly things came to visit me.
You know how when Weird Al makes a parody of a song, he takes the name of the song and does it for something that rhymes with it? So like, he made Lola into Yoda. He made Ride and Dirty into White and Nerdy. I feel like this song is them going, how can we make a song that's exactly the same as the Monster Mash, but legally is a different song from the Monster Mash?
With chains and fangs and bandaged heads, I couldn't tell if they were live or dead.
It's the Great Value version of the Monster Mash because they're not even mashing. They're just making noises.
Said the ghost with the vampire, said the werewolf on the full horizon. Zombies were moaning, ghouls were groaning. No one's ever gonna believe this story.
No one's ever gonna believe this story. It's not a story. It's essentially singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, but with Halloween monsters and going, no one's ever gonna believe this. No, I believe you in a second. Within a moment of you saying it, I believe that, what, a ghost said boo? Werewolf went, ow! I believe that. I believe that so easily. How do you think no one's gonna believe you? Do you lie all the time? What else are what are these chuckleheads saying? I was having a party on Halloween when some ghostly things came to visit me. I believe that so quick. Yeah, I was having a party on Halloween. Somebody showed up with fangs. Somebody showed up with like a bandage on its head. I feel like that's so believable. What are you talking? No one's gonna believe you because the person who's singing the song clearly just lies all the time. People don't believe them not because of the words they're saying, but because of who they are fundamentally as a person. The only almost the monster mash that I want is one with a fun and funky beat, maybe a disco groove, you know, something where the monsters are all clearly doing cocaine or having an orgy, something fun like that. Ow, said the vampire. Ooh, said the monster. Ah, said the other monster. If people don't believe you when you say a ghost said boo, I've got some news for you. George and one of the other neighbors are convinced that the creepy neighbor is a mad scientist or something along those lines.
If you ask me, I think he's a mad scientist. The postman tells me he gets these mysterious packages, some of them marked hazardous.
You see, George? You see? I told you I had a bad feeling about him.
Everyone in the neighborhood watches him take something out of the trunk of his car because everyone in the neighborhood has literally nothing else to do but get involved in other people's lives. One thing this movie does a lot is show you something pretty innocuous, but they try to make you think it's so spooky. Like when the neighbor plops a garment bag out of their trunk that the movie wants you to think is a dead body, and everyone reacts like it might be a dead body, despite it looking nothing like a dead body. Everyone acts like it's the scariest thing they've seen all day, and because they don't do anything other than look at what other people are doing, it probably is. We're also introduced to Ted and Stewie, who are two former criminals trying to reintegrate into society.
Ms. or Mrs.?
Mrs. is fine.
Miss Cloverfield.
This is so perfect. This is the perfect example of how nobody in this movie actually listens to each other. Everybody's just saying words, and then another person will say words back at them. I mean, maybe they're listening, but no one really feels heard. They've got to complete a work release program to avoid going back to jail for their previous crimes, and they end up at a dog park where all of the dogs bully Stewie relentlessly.
I don't like dogs. I can swear they're watching me with those brown little beady eyes right now.
Of course we're watching you. You're an idiot.
Get out of here!
Why don't you make me, Tubby?
Shoot!
This is our park.
I can't stand those dogs, Ted.
Stewie, I was reading my book, and it says that we are stuck in what is called a self-destructive cycle. Okay, we just have to find a way to break the cycle. Push back a couple years of bad karma, and then whoop, whoop, we're on easy street.
I don't think that's the right combination of pantomime and idiom. And just like that, it's a walk in the park. George and the kids bring a pie over to the neighbors in order to scope out the place, and we get even more very scary things.
Wait for me.
I love that because obviously they could not get a piranha for this movie. They just dyed the water in the fish tank black so you can't see anything in it at all. And I don't think there's anything in it at all other than the water that's in the tank. Remember when I said earlier there's another animal who talks and I explicitly said that it was a cat? You little stinky idiot. You followed for another one of my tricks on Halloween. It's a spider that talks.
What? You never saw a skeleton before?
We've already established no one's listening to each other. No one is listening to themselves even.
You're the new neighbors.
Yes, yeah, I'm George Bannister, and these are my my kids. This is my son, Kara, my daughter, and Ben, my son.
Obviously, we're not going to go back and do another take because this take is somewhat usable.
And of course, Zeus.
You know, like the Greek god.
I'm Medusa, like the goddess of death.
Oh, that's nice.
That's just not who Medusa is. I've read Percy Jackson. I've seen that one Amazon commercial. I know a thing or two about Greek mythology. And then when he's talking to the professor gives him just some dirty water. I don't see how this plays into like him being spooky or anything. Maybe it's just like, oh, they live in a town with poor infrastructure, and that's scary, but that's like a different kind of scary than the neighbor's trying to be. After his visit to the professor's house, George calls a neighborhood watch meeting, which seems a little bit unnecessary because everyone is always watching what everyone else in the neighborhood does. And at the meeting, he goes over all his evidence that he gathered while at the neighbor's house as to why the neighbor's kind of a weird dude. He doesn't have like a strong thesis or anything. He doesn't even have like a thing he wants to do concretely at the end. He's just like, Can you believe what I've seen?
Please, Belinda, Exhibit A. This you probably recognize as a high voltage electron generator.
Yeah. Every day of my life, I see probably 20, 30 high voltage electron generators. So much to the point that I could recognize one just on sight alone. I know this is the same for everybody. We all know that's exactly what a high voltage electron guy looks like.
Exhibit B, Rufus.
Honey.
Yeah. Rufus. Sorry.
Oh, I get it. They're all staring at the woman's butt because this is a family movie. And objectifying women is a staple of the family movie genre for whatever fucking reason.
Take a look at Exhibit C, honey.
What is this?
And they make a big deal about this mysterious green goo. They'll address Exhibit A and B later on in the movie. The goo never comes up again. I want to know what's up with that goo. After everyone walks out of the meeting, George and Zeus go to the dog park, but not before they change clothes. Sidebar, the passage of time in this movie is so confusing. I have no idea when any scenes take place because it seems like characters just change at random. Also, they establish at the top of the movie that they're having their Halloween party at the end of the week, but then pretty quickly that turns into 2 days, and it doesn't seem like 3 days have passed. Assuming, of course, that they're going off of like the end of the week is Friday, in which case, but maybe it's Saturday's the end of the week, so that would make it another day. Scenes don't take place on like a chronological timeline here. It's very much scenes take place in an ethereal plane and come together to form a 90-minute piece of entertainment. Or maybe he just wanted to change clothes. You know, maybe he just was like, this green shirt, no good for walking my dog. He'll think I'm a tennis ball. Anyway, they go to the dog park where Ted and Stewie are working, and we find out that Ted and Stewie broke into George's house.
Excuse me, guys.
It's him, it's them! That's the guy who put us in jail!
And if it was up to me, you'd still be there.
They all go to the criminal's court-ordered yoga class, where George lays out his plan to have Ted and Stewie break into his neighbor's home. While you're watching any of these clips, just keep in mind that they are at a yoga class. So it is dead silent in there.
Mr. Bannister.
Yeah.
What is it you want to talk to us about?
I want you guys to break into my neighbor's house.
What?
You guys are gonna be heroes. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not stealing anything. You gotta break in, find the evidence that I need to put them away, and that's it.
Ted, I always wanted to be a hero, you know that.
Even when they're whispering, the room is so small, and no one else is making a GD peep. Gross domestic peep. And they're just yapping it up, talking about doing crimes.
How much? Hey, let the man make an offer.
I don't know. How much you want?
How about some candy?
Stewie, really?
It's Halloween, I got no candy.
Okay, fine. Candy.
How about some peanut butter cups?
Deal. Get you a whole case.
What?
I know how to negotiate.
These guys are supposed to be down on their luck, trying to turn it all around, and they ask for candy to break the law. Oh, this is a good movie. This is good. This is a good film. So they agree to the job for like some Reese's peanut butter cups, and they go to stake out the neighbor's house. He goes out to his car, pulls out a treasure chest, and some solid gold coins fall out. Listen. That's exactly what real gold does when it hits a man. It jingles like that.
A load like that, Stewie, we could retire.
Ted. You said you weren't gonna take nothing, Ted.
That's not nothing, Stewie. That's a trunk full of solid gold, Stewie.
I'm not going back to jail.
We're not going back to jail.
I'm not going back.
We're not going back to jail. We get caught. If we get caught, which we're not gonna get caught, we pin it on Bannister. He hired us. It's all on him.
That's actually true. You're allowed to commit any crime so long as you only did it because somebody else told you to do it. Because then it's their fault, not yours. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you look at the evidence, all the evidence laid out before you these past 3, maybe 4 days, I don't remember, you will come to the conclusion that my client is no murderer. They were simply hired by somebody to kill. And if that is a crime, then, maybe I don't know what the law is. I'm a distinguished Southern lawyer. Grew up in Tallahassee. I'm a distinguished Southern lawyer with a crooked mustache. But my record, straight as an arrow. Straight as Taylor Swift, maybe? I don't know. Boy, oh boy, do I not know what's going on with that lady. It's the night of the party. And also the night of the break-in. They're happening at the same time. What is this, High School Musical? It's clear that this is where a majority of the time and effort went into making this movie. And it shows. I forgot to say this. Early in the movie, we see George spying on the neighbor with the most advanced telescope I have ever seen. It's got some sort of an AI that can tell what an animal is just by looking at it. It can detect lasers invisible to the human eye. It's got all sorts of shapes going along the bottom. It looks more like something Iron Man would have than the fusion of Matthew Broderick and Matt LeBlanc. So he's got that. He's got that at his disposal. And then for the night of the heist, they use these walkie-talkies. I find it hard to believe that these would work across a few hundred feet and through some walls. I find it hard to believe that these would work across a room. Zeus also reveals that the reason he's afraid of thunder is because he used to be a police dog. And one night, he and his partner were chasing down a robber, and the thunder cracked. And Zeus thought that it was a gun going off. He was afraid, and the robber got away. So to this day, he's afraid of the sound of thunder. And again, I'll say, it's very funny that a dog named Zeus is afraid of thunder. I feel like the other dog, Medusa, has to be afraid of either statues or snakes. And when Zeus tells George this story, here's as good a time as any. I don't know what the rules are for these talking dogs, or really for any of the talking animals. It's clear that the dogs can talk to each other. I think that all of the animals can talk to and understand each other, unlike the people in this movie. And I'm pretty sure that George can understand Zeus. I mean, it's clear that all the animals can understand all the humans because they make little side comments about them. But I'm pretty sure that George and Zeus can talk to each other. But I don't think that George can understand all of the animals. I think it's just his dog. And then there's another lady who can talk to her cat. That's right, there is a talking cat in this movie.
It was such a nice day, and I walked and walked until I didn't know where I was anymore.
I tricked you again. I double gotcha. I mean, I triple gotcha. She can clearly talk to her cat, and her cat can talk to her, and they understand each other. But I don't think that everyone can understand animals. I don't even think that everyone can understand their own animals. Like, I don't think that the neighbor can understand his spider. I think the neighbor can talk to his dog, or maybe the dog understands the neighbor. I've seen this movie like 3 times, and I still don't understand how it works. Anyway, after Zeus explains his PTSD to George, George says this.
Do you know what us banishers do? We count.
Count?
That's right, buddy. We count the seconds after we see the lightning until the thunder. And then the longer the seconds take, the further the storm.
Okay, count. That's great. I'm not afraid of the storm, George. I'm afraid of the sound. That's the thing that scares me. So knowing how far away it is doesn't make it not happen. Zeus takes George's advice and counts and still gets scared.
Come on, baby, just count. Just like Georgie said. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
Because the storm's not the issue, it's just the thunder. Ted and Stewie are sneaking through the house, looking for the gold that they saw fall out of the treasure chest, and every time something even a little bit spooky happens, they run around screaming and get into all sorts of mischief. At one point, Stewie gets really gassy.
A little bit of gas, Ted.
It's a family movie, I don't know what to tell you. And once they make it all the way up to the attic, they find the treasure chest full of gold.
Isn't that the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your entire life? I could cry.
Don't cry, Ted.
I could cry. This is it. Stewie, this is everything we've ever dreamed of. Everything I ever wanted. It's candy! Ah!
But then there's a slow-moving skeleton who looks like maybe he was on a ventilator and died of COVID. So they start running around screaming again.
Peekaboo!
This whole bit feels like if Home Alone didn't have any whimsy to it. Ted and Stewie get themselves trapped in the house, so George has to go over to try and save them.
Mr. Cole is right outside in the front. He could come in at any minute.
What?
Yes.
Gee,
George, is that organ playing itself?
Yes, it is. I told you there's weird stuff going on in here.
Have they never seen a player piano? I feel like once you get to child rearing age, you know what that is. Just at a certain point in your life, if you see a keyboard playing, your first thought is not ghost, it's that's a keyboard that plays itself.
Guess what, everybody? I found Rufus! Hello? Hello?
This is the one time in the movie that nobody's standing around outside. I don't know who she thinks she's talking to. There's nobody around. I'm assuming that she's just been yelling that she's found her cat all the way over to the neighbor's place because normally there's a whole bunch of people standing around just waiting for something to happen. Maybe inside is such a foreign concept to this community, but just go. You're at like the end of the driveway. Go inside. You can hear people in there, surely. So in trying to save Ted and Stewie, George and his wife get themselves stuck. So there's 4 people stuck in the attic, and Zeus has to come over and try and save them.
there comes a time in every dog's life where you gotta grab the situation with your paws and take control. Storm or no storm, George and Belinda are inside that house, and I am not about to let anything happen to them. It's time to face my fears and save Halloween!
He books it inside to try and save Halloween, and he's no longer afraid of anything. Not because he counted, not because he just kind of overcame his fears. Just like that.
An off switch. This looks fun.
Zeus saves them from being trapped. They realized, oh, it was just a haunted house all along. Not like it's not actually haunted, but just like the professor is making a haunted house for people to enjoy on Halloween. And then the cops show up because they have committed a crime. When they're all heading outside to face the music, of course, everybody is there. But instead of quietly judging from afar, they are all yelling at George, Ted, and Stu. They work everything out except for what the goo was. And the professor doesn't press charges, and everyone in the neighborhood is just kind of like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, cool. And they all walk away, leaving just the family on the professor's doorstep.
I'm gonna make you something very special because you saved Halloween. You did it.
All in a day's work.
Did Zeus save Halloween? I feel like whenever somebody in a movie is saving a holiday, it's Christmas, right? And when one is attempting to save Christmas, the objective is pretty clear. It's either A, something's up with Santa and you've got to help him out to make sure everyone gets their presents on time. B, you've got to teach everybody the true meaning of Christmas. Or C, you got to do both of those things. So for a movie where the goal is to save Halloween, I feel like either trick-or-treating has to be in danger, right? Where not everyone's going to go out and get their candy. Or you have to teach people the true meaning of Halloween, or both. Or maybe no local businesses have closed and there's nowhere to put a Spirit Halloween. My point is something has to be at risk of being lost in order for it to be saved. But in this movie, kids trick-or-treating is never in danger. Zeus doesn't teach everyone the true meaning of Halloween. Zeus definitely saves his owners from being trapped in an attic. I'll give him that. Is that all it takes to save Halloween? They tell Zeus that he saved Halloween and the family's all together. And that's the end of the movie. Hold on. What? Why is it not over? What's going on? Why is it still going? The plot has resolved. Who are these people? Who are you?
Hey guys!
Hey, Mom.
Okay, it's George's mom. I guess the movie's still going for some reason.
Well, hello! Happy Halloween!
Hi, Grandma.
Come on, we're just about to go trick-or-treating.
But nothing really happens in that scene. We get another almost Halloween song.
Creepy little thingies crawling on my skin. I just can't keep from scratching. Someone let them in.
This song's about having bugs crawl all over you. That's so much worse than the first one. And then we get a third song. A third spooky tune.
I'm not scared of going out tonight. No, I don't care about goblins taking flight.
You don't care about goblins taking flight? How's a goblin gonna fly? They can't do that on their own. They don't have the anatomy nor the magic to do that. That means they've got a contraption. I'll say it, a goblin with a contraption, pretty spooky to me.
I don't know what makes them full of fright. Just pull the plug and everything's alright.
Just pull the plug and everything's alright? Someone like on their deathbed? And you're like, just pull the plug, kill him, take him out. See, the first song is just like bad songwriting. The second one's like, ugh, that's gross. And then the third one has this like fun, peppy beat and like, these voices are so fun and cheerful. The lyrics they're effed up.
Night turns into daylight with sunshine burning bright. No, I'm not scared of going out tonight.
Night turns into daylight with sunshine burning bright. No, I'm not scared of going out tonight. You're not scared of going out because it's not the night anymore. It's the daytime. 9 a.m. What some would call the night of the day. And what I would call the morning. One thing I learned about this movie after having seen it is that it is the third in a sprawling series. First, there's The Dog Who Saved Christmas. Then The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation. Then now we get The Dog Who Saved Halloween. Then The Dog Who Saved the Holidays. The Dog Who Saved Easter. And The Dog Who Saved Summer. There's a whole Dog Who CU out there. And most of the cast stays the same from movie to movie. That's it. That's all I have to say about the movie. I hope you enjoyed the video, though. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.